Broads Media.
6-3. Light shining bright. 8 o'clock, ABC. So anybody at home that's looking for the standard programming at 8, which I have no idea what that is on a Saturday night, they're getting some Flyers Devils action, and you looked horrendous. You did not play good outside of a second period stretch, but there were also penalties involved. And then what? When you were down 4-2, and then Nick Seeler makes it 5-3, whatever. When those spurts happen, fine. But the problem is you kept putting yourself in a position where you had to look uphill and battle, and it's very hard, and it happened right from the jump, right from puck drop. 30 seconds in, Nico Hischier tucks it in 5-hole, and now you're down 1-0. So essentially, the entire game, you're trying to come from behind. That is a very tough ask. And by the way, I know they could do it against the Toronto Maple Leafs and earn a point, but if you're going to consistently do that, it's going to be hard. And I hate it that it happened against a team that you're fighting with in the standings. This was a massive swing with the point total. It just is. When looking at the Metropolitan, you failed miserably in a big-time spot. Now, I'm not ruling the Fly guys out. I have a lot of faith that they still find a way to get themselves in the postseason, and we see playoff hockey at the Wells Fargo Center, but they will be facing adversity for a bounce back. You see a Chicago Blackhawks team that isn't very solid, but they did just get Connor Bedard back and all, and I hate that I'm even referencing their next opponent, because part of how I feel deep down is I'm aggravated to hear, hey, quick turnaround, hey, let's put this one past us. No! Own it! This was a massive game. This was bigger than just 2 points. This was bigger than just a regular season game. People spent their hard-earned money to make the trip up to MetLife Stadium, to tailgate all day long, to buy the Stadium Series jersey, to sit outside in what felt like negative 90 degrees, to go bonkers for hours, barely be able to see anything because the stadium's 70,000 feet away from the actual ice surface. So this was huge. You came out of the bus in Rocky Balboa outfits. Fantastic touch, but it doesn't mean as much since you lost the game. You went up against the Tommy DeVitos of the world, and what are the odds that Tommy DeVito can walk into MetLife Stadium and actually win? I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that was real, but you had 20 plus Tommy DeVitos walk in there and put on an excellent effort. It's so brutal that you lost this game the way that you did, and I don't want you to pretend like this wasn't anything special. This was special, and you failed, and I want you to sit in that and let it marinate for a little bit of time, right? I don't want it to break you. I don't want it to be the reason why maybe this season goes off the rails. No, but I want you to recognize that you could have really pulled away a little bit more, and every single inch counts, all right? Damn it, ask your wife. Every inch counts. So with these standings, you need to know 2 points. You need those 2 points. And now it's a 5-point. Whoa, starting to get a little uncomfortable. Not that this was ever going to be easy. It pretty much, in my mind, was going to come down to the wire anyway if the Flyers did sneak into the playoffs. So it's going status quo. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though, because I would have been on 1,000 if they went out there, dominated, looked smooth. Did you think that maybe there'd be a comeback at the end? Maybe. It wasn't very far away from being 5-4. But it's just not enough. And I think when you're constantly putting the pressure on yourself to have to hold the sticks tight and put in 120% because you know you dug yourself such a hole, well, at some point you run out of gas and it's just too much. And as soon as you pull the goalie and they put it in the empty net, it's a dagger in my heart, and I feel like I'm falling over and getting beaten in with the hammer right off the cross of my skull. Morgan Frost on the Toffoli goal off the faceoff. Sure, it's a poor rebound, but what are you looking at, Morgan Frost? And that's back-to-back games now that he had a horrendous sequence in the D zone with the coverage. William Nylander scoring in overtime in Toronto. You just gave him wide open ice. Hey, here's a big open C. Go take it, Willie Nylander, and let's see if you can bury. Yo, I hate to break the news to you. He can find the net. And same with this Devil squad. Hey, Tyler Toffoli wide open on the backside? That's a problem. That's an issue. He'll find the back of the net. And that's exactly what happened. Urson should have done a way better job controlling his rebounds. I don't care if it's difficult with the lights and with the lighting and the outdoor game and it's cold, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. The Devils had to deal with the same exact thing. So if you're getting beat short side high, if guys are scoring that don't traditionally score, you got to find a way. So Urson and the penalties were probably the two things on my mind, and some defensive zone coverages. Well, guess what? If I label those three things as problems in a 60-minute effort, more times than not, you're probably on the losing side. So it just sucks, man. I want to see this team win a big game. I want to see them win an outdoor game. Yeah, I get it. It happened with Claude Giroux and the comeback, and people saw maybe the ties of what was when they played Pittsburgh at the Link. Hey, don't rule them out yet. That doesn't happen very often. That's what made the Claude Giroux goal very special. And yes, thanks for reminding me I left the game early. Full disclosure, I've told this story a billion times, but I wasn't really prepared to go to the event. So it wasn't as if I paid a lot of cash and I sat on it for a while and I had it in my calendar. And then as soon as the moment came, I decided to leave the seats and drive home over the Walt Whitman. My uncle owned a business at the time, and one of his partners hit him up for some tickets. And the day of the game, he shoots me a text. He's not a big sports guy, not a big hockey guy. He goes, you know this outdoor game thing? I happen to have a couple tickets just sitting here. The game starts at 7, 8, whatever time that game was here in Philly. You want to go? And I'm like, what? I got an hour here to figure out who I'm going to take. So I hit up a buddy. I'm like, yo, dude, I got free tickets. Just slap me on the lap. Want to go? So it was so random. It was so unprepared. That's why I felt, all right, if I leave, so be it. The experience was fine. The Flyers aren't playing great. It's starting to rain. And then, yeah, Claude Giroux's epic moment. Screw me. I'm the bad guy. But guess what? There's also reasons why I'm a good guy. And that's because we have more Broads Media content coming your way. And that's Coffee with Broads. It's back starting March 28th, which is opening day, by the way. Join the Broads Media membership here on YouTube for $4.99 a month, and you will have access to Coffee with Broads live streams every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. It'll be super laid back, chill, very interactive with the chat. I'm really looking forward to it. And there's also a Broads Media Discord channel that is currently active now, where we will communicate live when games are going on, talking about the action in real time. I gotta be honest with you, we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 days now. We're just getting started over there. It is so damn fun. I mean, I'm having a blast. UFC 298 wrestling, the Flyers game, Sixer stuff, Philly stuff. It's nonstop action in there. All the information is down below in the description. And nothing is changing with the current pods. This is just an added bonus if you want more of this obnoxious asshole in your life. So I'm looking forward to starting Coffee with Broads live streams March 28th. And make sure if you're interested, you grab a membership today down below. It was a huge game in the standings. Just a huge game in the standings. And they let it really go. They did. They let it go. And Owen Tippett tried everything in his power. My man was on a mission. That first goal was a cannon. That thing was absolutely scorched. Ripped. Crazy. I love Owen Tippett. Oh, my God, he's a blast to watch. Just a big body, the speed that he has with that body. It's sort of an old-school power forward mixed with the ability to light the lamp and snipe. It's a very impressive combination. And the fact that he's having this type of outing after the big-time contract, and think about it. If he wasn't signed yet and he's scoring 2 goals in a game, what do you think the debate is? It's going to be, well, how much is he going to get with the money, and are we scared he's going to score too many goals? Well, then the negotiations goes a little bit more in his favor and this and that. I like the number that they locked him in at. Probably a little, just a smidge. When I tell you a 1% smidge higher than I would have liked, if the cap continues to go up and he continues to score a bunch of goals, then that cap hit he has, it's not going to crush you, okay? It's not going to eliminate you and hold you back from being able to make some other moves here. So, like I said, a smidge, that's me more nitpicking than anything else. But the fact that he is on fire right now is amazing. It's amazing. I want it to happen in wins. He needs some help. He needs somebody else to pick it up, all right? Yo, Morgan Frost, I need you to get on the score sheet a couple times. Pretend you're playing the Arizona Coyotes, because whenever that team is on the schedule, you find a way to have a 4-point effort, to have a 5-point night, to have a 9-point night, to have a 13-point night. Can we do that against the Devils so I don't have to watch Nico Hischier and watch Bratt drive the net and Jamie Drysdale get a holding penalty because as he's driving the blue paint trying to go post to post, you're putting your arms around him to hold him back? Oh, man, irritating. You look up in the first period and they're getting absolutely waxed. They're down to nothing, outcompeted, getting outworked. I thought the stick battles were annoying too. And then at the end, when they score their 5th goal, Travis Sanheim, not the smartest play in the defensive zone, trying to throw it up the wall. It gets intercepted. Now we're working with a cycle, and you're getting your defense out of control. It's very out of whack. You cycle the puck, you create lanes, and before you know it, it's in the back of your net. We have to be sharper. We have to be more intelligent. We have to be more detailed. Whether you use the glass instead of rimming it around the boards, whatever, get the damn puck into the neutral zone so at least we can reset and force the Devils to have to enter the zone or dump it back in, get to the puck first, and then do it again. Whatever. Get the damn puck out of the zone, but don't let them establish offensive zone time and cycle and play their game, because it will end up behind Urson for sure. We have some anytime hotline text messages here. Does this loss scare you with the standings? I don't know yet. I'm not feeling great. And here's my biggest concern is, did the Devils wake up? Did the Flyers allow the Devils to be woken up? They haven't played what maybe everybody anticipated the Devils to play like, right? No one would have projected them to be at this spot in the standings at this time of the year. But I wonder, mentally speaking, is it possible that they recognize, the Flyers ain't shit? We haven't lived up to the expectations. We have not held our end of the bargain. But the Flyers ain't shit. Could this be the turnaround of, here we go, fellas. Come on, man. We see the team that's sitting in front of us. You're going to allow them to make the postseason in the Metropolitan over us? You're going to allow them to be the 3rd team in that division over us? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So now they play with a different sense of urgency. They understand that they are better than the Flyers. I'm just talking in their room. That's the selling point. That's the message. Their captain speaks up. Come on, boys. We cannot allow that to happen. And then they sort of take off and go for a little bit of a ride. So I actually want to look up maybe the Devils' schedule and see who they have coming up next. They play the Washington Capitals on Tuesday. They have the Rangers on Thursday and the Canadiens on Saturday. That wraps up their week. They have a back-to-back, actually. They have to play the Lightning as well. Some beatable teams out west with the Sharks, with the Ducks. They do have to see the Kings. All right, I'm just looking ahead here and kind of seeing. But the Capitals are sitting at, they're not very good this year. They're 24-21. They're a few points behind the Islanders, actually. 1 point behind the Islanders, 3 points behind the Devils. The problem, too, is the Flyers have played so many games. They have way more games played than the rest of these teams. So the Flyers, 29-20-7, with 65 points sitting right behind the Carolina Hurricanes. And now the Devils are sniffing around. They have 2 games less than the Flyers, and they're 5 points behind them. Dude, I would have loved to boast and be annoying and be obnoxious and be an absolute jerk-off with more separation in those standings, and that's why it hurts. But no, I wouldn't say it scares me yet. If the Flyers rebound and smoke Chicago, and then after Chicago they play the Rangers, a 3 o'clock game at home on Saturday. I don't like those afternoon tilts. They actually have a back-to-back, it looks like, because they also play the Penguins in an afternoon game on Sunday. And, we'll get there when we get there. It's a couple of days off until their next game. No, I'm not fully hitting the panic button. It just sucks, and it is a little bit of adversity. But this group has shown that when the times do get tighter and when there are some questions surrounding them, they have responded at times when you didn't expect them to. So I'm not scared. I just have a fear that you allowed the Devils to gain some life, because deep down, when they wax you as badly as they did, and they did, it was the Devils in control. It was the Devils who had this game in the grasp for pretty much puck drop on. 32 seconds in of watching a breakaway. How do you have that type of breakdown so early? So early. If it's in the middle of the second period where you try and make a change and it's a long change because you're switching sides, you got to go to the bed. Oh, man, someone snuck behind you. I'm probably going to be aggravated and be very annoyed with that too. But at least it's more understanding than just 30 seconds into the game. We got to be more aware. We got to be more understanding. It's gross. Let the game get established a little bit. Survive the first couple of shifts. Emotions are high. It's cold. It's a different environment. You got to find ways to see how the puck is going to bounce. Pepper the netminder, right? I mean, I heard Charlie O'Connor kind of bring this up, that when speaking to some guys in the locker room about how they're preparing this game, they're going to throw pucks on net from a lot of different angles. Why? Because you never know what bounce you're going to take. You never know if the goalie's going to be in the right spots. It's very uncomfortable for them. So if you think that's what the Flyers are preparing to do, how do you think the Devils are going to prepare? I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do the same exact damn thing, and it paid off for them. But, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to establish a game identity, and you can't do that when you're down 1-0 with a blink of an eye. You got to give yourself the opportunity for it to settle in and, what do they say, ride the wave or calm the storm. They didn't do that. And it hurts. Have I ever played in an outdoor game? This person did not leave a name with the text. Neither texters did. You guys can leave your name, by the way. So, hey, John from South Philly, or hey, Bill from Westville, whatever. I like to know the names, so I don't just read the text without any names. I greatly appreciate it, though. I love you guys to death for even taking the time to text in and call in. Yeah, I have, actually. When the Flyers played the Winter Classic at Citizens Bank Park, at the time, I was playing for Team Comcast. Was that U16? Yes, that was U16 year for Team Comcast, and we played against Pat LaFontaine's team, the Long Island Royals. And who was the kid who played for the Flyers? Was it Justin Bailey? Was that the kid who came in for a little bit of time there? Justin Bailey? He was on that team. And, yeah, a couple Harvard commits, if I remember correctly. We lost, I think it was -1, maybe -2. It was on NHL Network because Pat LaFontaine's team was doing a show called Making of a Royal. Yeah, he is with the San Jose Sharks now, Justin Bailey is. Played 33 games for San Jose, has 4 goals. I thought he played a little bit with the Flyers. He did. Back in 2018, 2019, he played 11 games with the Fly Guys and had 1 assist. Played a ton of time in the AHL as well. Justin Bailey. Anyway, yeah, that happened. So, yes, I did play in an outdoor game. Before we continue with some of these text messages, though, let me tell you about my friends over at HelloFresh. Let me tell you something. You're getting free breakfast for life with HelloFresh. I'm going to say that one more time so you don't think that you heard something obnoxious. you're getting free breakfast for life. And that is obnoxious, though. Obnoxiously great. And you can't miss on this opportunity. So don't let recipe boredom strike, because HelloFresh has more options than ever before. You can dig into their biggest menu yet with over 45 dinner options to choose from weekly, and even more market add-on items that suit any lifestyle. And they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and HelloFresh agrees. In fact, they're giving all subscribers free breakfast for life. That means you'll enjoy a totally free breakfast item with every single HelloFresh delivery. Now that's worth waking up early for. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, it's farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. So you can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to HelloFresh.com/BroadsFree and use code BroadsFree for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/BroadsFree with code BroadsFree. Make sure you join the HelloFresh family today. Cam Erson, is he able to be the workload goalie down the stretch? That's another text message coming in here. It's a good question. It's very strange. When Erson's off, he's off. And it's ugly. And it's bad. But he also follows that up with very strong performances. So I guess my question is, it's not really a question. Can he be the workload? He's going to have to be. I mean, there's no other way around it. He's going to have to be. There'll be more shitty times than we would like. You're going to see these style games flirted in there than we would like. It'll be more than when Carter Hart was in net. For as many flaws as he has with some poor angled shots going in, you think he's hugging the post and he's not. Someone scores from behind the net and you go, in what world? I always thought that was going against Carter Hart more than I would like. And you could say, well, it's unlucky. He's hugging the post and it squeezed by. Why did it feel, just from the eye test, that it happened more with Carter Hart than any other goaltender to ever walk planet Earth? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, you're going to get this stuff from Erson. He's getting thrown into the fire. It's a very difficult ask for him. Hey, be the #1 goaltender when he never really was that. And he had some awesome moments as a backup, but to do it every single night consistently, whenever you get the nod, it changes. You wear and tear. It could beat up on you mentally. If you do have a couple rough performances in a row, you got to get yourself out of that rut. Hell, Cal Peterson is an example of someone who once stepped into the league, had some pretty remarkable numbers, and then he gets lit up in the AHL, and then he's trying to find his groove again. It can happen with the snap of your fingers. You never know. It just is a really rough eye test. It's an eyesore whenever Erson has one of his bad games. So I don't want to react so negatively when it looks this way, because I've seen him rebound and be very good not too shortly after that. So I just don't want to react so insanely, because I sort of have put myself in a position where I understand the Sam Erson experience. Can he be the workload goalie down the stretch? Yes. Yes. Will it be uncomfortable? Yes. Yes. Will there be games that you would like to have back? Yes. Yes. I think he'll have the answer more times than he doesn't have the answer, but when he doesn't have the answer, be prepared for it to be ugly. That's sort of my reaction to that question. And this one isn't a question, it's just more of a statement. At least Tippett is scoring. Made the trip. Hands are numb. So mad. Yeah. How about when you try and text when your hands are red as hell? You can barely move them. Snot's running down your face, but it's not running because it gets glued to the side of your mouth because it's so damn freezing. I saw a bunch of videos. I saw a bunch of different pictures and all. I mean, look, if they were to win, you'd walk out with a bigger smile on your face. But it looked like, from what I saw, a lot of people who made the trip did have a fun experience. And it's really about going and making the trip with family members, maybe staying up there in the New York City area for a night, getting a hotel room and doing a Saturday night, Sunday type of deal before you make the trip back, whatever. You know, you get to spend the tailgate. It's hard to have that level of experience for a random game against the Coyotes down at the Wells Fargo Center. You could have cold ones. You can tailgate a little bit for a regular season game, meaning an indoor regular season game. But you don't get this, right? So I think you soak that all in regardless of the outcome, and you make sure you appreciate the time and the people who you went to the game with and whatnot. So, but that's funny. Hands are numb, so mad. I remember going to a Dallas game, Eagles-Dallas Sunday Night Football. Me and my cousin, we were all the way up in the nosebleeds. I had 75 sweatshirts on, 6 different jackets. I could barely text my wife to give her updates on when I'm coming back and when I'll be home. I could only imagine. But hey, the fact that you were in that type of predicament, right, and you're hurting and you're down bad, and your thought was, I got to get a text message into the Anytime Hotline text board. Well, I can't love you anymore. I just can't love you anymore. All right, with that said, we'll wrap things up here. It's a rough loss for the Flyers, all right? Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it one of those, it's just one game thing. No, it's not just one game. It was a big loss. It was a huge loss in the standings, and I want you to own that. I want it to marinate a little bit and hurt inside so you can be motivated to respond. All right, everybody, thank you all so much. I love you to death, and we'll be talking very soon.